next cup of coffee, do what you got to do, and then we'll get started.
Sure, do you need the coffee?
Hey, Alex, how you doing, man?
Oh, do it.
Hey, I'm doing all right.
I couldn't
Just
knock them.
actually, if you want to take like an extra 5 minutes, I know you guys are just coming straight from something else. So if you guys want to meet back at like 5 after the hour, Ernie, is that all right? If we give them
Yeah,
a
that's
couple extra
fine.
minutes, stretch your
Your show,
legs,
brother.
check your Instagrams, check your LinkedIn, whatever you need to do,
It's a big
and we'll see
priority
you.
in life.
Oh yeah, all the big stuff.
And what I'll do is I'll post Alex's LinkedIn and website here really quick.
Yes. If anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, Ernie just put it in the chat, and our website on here, which I'm going to be talking about some stuff so you can have a look at it while you're hanging out. But hopefully you are taking a break and getting a coffee or something.
You're up early this morning. Was it about 6 a.m. for you?
So I'm in England. I'm actually ahead of y'all. It's 5 p.m. here.
Or 5, sorry, duh, I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah. But it's
going
still
the other direction.
It's still the amazing time of year where the sun doesn't set until 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. So it's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sun's definitely down a little earlier than that right here in the Northeast.
What Ernie, what have these people been up to all day? How many classes have they been in?
You are our
I'm
second.
sorry, what?
We've only been in one before.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm number 2. Awesome.
I've been called worse.
I'm just trying to gauge how awake everyone is going to be.
It's still early Monday, so hopefully, good chunk of the class, but the West Coast is probably a little fuzzier.
Okay. Then let's see. Am I going to be able to share my screen? Yes. Okay. Send request. So I just requested to be able to share my screen. I've got a PowerPoint. I'm not going to lean on it too much because I hate PowerPoints.
We're PowerPoint veterans with MOHs and PowerPoint.
Casey Rourke, 6 a.m. Yeehaw.
I got 1 a.m. in Japan with Jesse.
All right, Jesse, committed. Not messing around.
Yeah, it doesn't, these don't screw up his day except for being half asleep.
Yeah.
Just to go and do stuff.
Can anyone beat 1 a.m. for crazy time wherever they are right now? Okay, noon on the East Coast. That's not bad. Yeah, 1 a.m. is tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, those days of being awake and aware at those hours are long behind me.
I can be awake at those hours, just not aware.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
I mean, there was a time where I was like, well, we should probably call it pretty soon. In the next 2 hours, we're going to launch jets at 7. So I always did the pre-flights before. Just pull the covers off.
Right.
Then you didn't want to have to answer for why you broke the jet first thing in the morning after you had it the day before.
Sean, happy to be here. Appreciate it, everybody. Ooh, already got some LinkedIn stuff coming in. All right. Rick, if you're there, you were stationed at Alconbury. Nice. Wow. 2 minutes. I'm not going to start early. Starting early is weakness.
Did you ever get over to Fairford?
I have not been to Fairford. No.
That is an easy place to miss.
No.
Yeah, I was there several years ago when we switched over to Eagles and Intel stuff, trying to recruit folks. That's why I stopped over at Fairford for the Intel stuff. And I went all the way out there and all I got was this stupid hat. The only reason I still remember the name of the place, because looks like it's almost right out of World War II still.
Mm. They, I mean, just kind of like in the States, same thing. A lot of their air bases here in England are just in the middle of nowhere, awful, terrible places, or out in Scotland where there's nothing, or out in Wales where there's more sheep than people. And I apologize in advance if anyone can hear screaming in the background. I have a 2-year-old and just
Not
gonna have to
happy
deal with
with
it. Yeah.
Nah, your filter is filtering it out pretty good, thankfully.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, because otherwise you hear my
I've
dog
got a
snoring.
20-month-old, 3-year-old, and we homeschool the other one. So
Whoa.
That's a
So
handful.
so you just don't sleep then?
no,
Yeah, there is no mastering the terrible twos. But maybe somebody can back me up here. I've heard that the three-nager phase is actually worse than the terrible
Yes.
twos.
Yeah, because then they can express being a jerk.
Yeah. See, that's terrifying because we're just barely hanging on that too. And we have a 3-month-old as well.
yeah,
So we're
been
we're
there.
thinking-
I've got a total of 6. So
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I was about to pipe up because I have 4. And
Whew.
it never really gets easier, it just gets different. But they do
Okay.
sleep through the night eventually, usually.
I am looking forward to that.
they can start
Can't
helping
wait
out
for
with
that.
chores too eventually,
Yeah.
which helps.
And entertain each other.
Once you have 6, don't the older ones just kind of start raising the younger ones? You can just, run off and do your own thing.
That's where we were when with number 4. There's an 8-year gap, so we
Okay.
had 4, then an 8-year
Yeah.
gap, and then started over. So a little bit, but they don't do diapers, so like there's that.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
We're at
nice.
6 after. You ready to get going, Alex? I'll give the old intro.
Yes, cool. Go for it. Thank you.
Roger. Hey, today's guest is Alexander Lisot, a former F-15 pilot turned entrepreneur, real estate investor, and global business. A graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy, Alex served in multiple locations before launching several ventures across a half a dozen continents, from e-commerce to real estate. Now, as the founder of Master the Military, he's on a mission to help veterans unlock their full value of their service, from unclaimed benefits to long-term wealth building. Now, working on his MBA at London Business School, he's focused on scaling impact-driven businesses that empower the veteran community while building bridges globally. He's also a rescue diver, DJ, and husband, proving that purpose and adventures can go hand in hand. Alex, it's all yours, sir. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. I really appreciate that intro, Ernie. Thanks everybody for being here. I want to start this out by explaining that this is probably going to be different than any other presentation you're going to get from anybody else here. So if you can you X out of Facebook, out of Instagram, out of TikTok, whatever you're doing there in the background, and just try and pay attention. I'm going to be here for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to answer some questions. And I mean it when I say that this could absolutely be the most important presentation you listen to in this entire program, because some of this stuff is truly life-changing. So let me start sharing my screen, and I'm going to walk you through a very sweet PowerPoint presentation. Let's see. Can everybody see this? Arnie, are we good to go?
Roger that. Got it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. First and foremost, I am not a slide professional. I'd never made PowerPoints. I was never an exec. So just deal with what I have going on here. The information is more important than the presentation. So Master the Military, that is what I'm here talking about today. Here's what we're going to cover. Why I'm talking to you today, the problem you don't even know that you have. And just 1 second. The cost of doing nothing and how we're helping service members and veterans. All right, so let me start this by why I'm talking to you today. Ernie gave you a bit of a background, but I need you to understand kind of where I'm coming from and where I am today to help effectively communicate how important this stuff is. So I'm from Texas originally. I grew up in Dallas, went to the Air Force Academy. I was active duty for 8 years after that, flew F-15s. My final assignment was in the UK. While I was over here, I met my then girlfriend, now wife. So we have a couple of kids. Since getting out of the military, I've launched a few different businesses and I've been a full-time digital nomad for the past 5 years. So I've been living all over the planet. Like we were on Bali for a while. We were living in Costa Rica, Mexico, all over Europe, lots of different places. And the reason why we've been able to have such a good lifestyle is because of the businesses that I've put in place. But before I was able to launch these businesses, I had a nice, solid financial foundation that I was able to build by using my military benefits. So that's what we're talking about today. You need to understand that you have access to military benefits out in the civilian world that most civilians would kill to have. So first and foremost, do you know how much money and opportunity you are leaving on the table? The majority of veterans don't know how to utilize their benefits. It's just plain and simple. I don't have the exact stat, but I know sitting here in this audience right now, you probably don't know how to use the majority or maybe even a few of the benefits that are available to you. You need to understand that the lowest VA disability rating is worth about $175 a month, and the highest ones can go up to almost $5,000 a month. The GI Bill itself is worth about $28,000 per year and can be worth even more. Plus, you get a monthly housing allowance, which is E5 with dependents based upon wherever you're living when you're taking these courses. And then using your VA loan, you need to understand that owning real estate is the most reliable path to increasing net worth. And this is how most millionaires are made. If you are not using your VA loan, you are wrong. I'm just telling you right now. You need to use it correctly, but you need to use it. So here's the problem, is the benefits gap. All right, so veterans earn these benefits, but don't know how to use them. If you served honorably and you're separating from the military now, you have the same access to benefits, whether you served just a couple of years or if you served 20 years or 30 years. But nobody teaches you how to use them. The system itself isn't set up to teach you where to even start. And it's not the responsibility of the military to do this. The responsibility of the military is to train you to be the best soldier, airman, sailor, Marine, whatever. That's their responsibility. It is in your hands to figure out how to utilize all of these programs that they have afforded to you. And most people miss out on tens of thousands of dollars. I cannot express to you again and again enough times how much money this stuff is worth if you know how to use it correctly and ethically. So sitting here in this audience right now, which of these sounds like you? I bet there's people here that have heard of the GI Bill, but you're unsure how to maximize it. VA disability feels complicated. You might be underrated once you get into the outside world. Feels intimidating using their VA loan. Maybe you don't know anything about real estate or you don't know anything about the VA loan. Maybe you've never heard of VRNE. If you haven't heard of it, it is one of the most underutilized programs out there, and it's one of the most powerful ones. And you may be unsure where to even start. And the reason why I bring this up is because I have been every single one of these at a certain point in my career. I didn't know how to utilize most of these benefits until I'd been outside of the military for quite some time. When I was in the military, you know, within the network, you hear people talking about this stuff. Maybe you have somebody in your squadron or your battalion or whatever that is using a VA loan, but nobody sits down and teaches you how to do this stuff. So I need you to understand the cost of doing nothing. Here's what happens if you don't fix it, if you get out and you don't learn how to use this stuff. You could be missing out on benefits worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or sometimes even millions. You end up paying for things that the VA should cover. The VA is supposed to pay for all sorts of stuff depending on your particular situation. And you could end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars when you don't need to. And you could be struggling financially when freedom is possible. You don't need to struggle financially. You don't need to be worried about, being able to pay rent the next month or be living paycheck to paycheck. Like, there's absolutely no reason for you to be doing that if you have served in the military. So, introducing Master the Military. Second. Okay. So, what we have put together is a community for veterans, by veterans, owned by veterans, where the entire purpose of the community is to bring people in, create kind of a hive mind where people can learn from everyone else, learn how to utilize these benefits, not only use them, max perform them, and then once you're using all of this stuff, then learn how to take things to the next level. So we're teaching financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and how to make sure that just because you're earning more money doesn't mean that you're then losing more money later on. There's some crazy stat about, was it like 80% of lottery winners end up worse off than they were before they won the lottery. So if you don't know what to do with your money, it doesn't matter if you have a ton of money coming in. Let's see, a couple other things. Just the three main things that we have going on in the community, we call it the 3 C's. So we have the classroom, the community, and the calls. The classroom is where we put together hours and hours and hours of masterclass modules where we walk you through A to Z, every aspect of different benefits. So you can learn exactly how to use your VA loan. You can learn exactly about VA disability benefits and what you may or may not be entitled for and how to file for disability benefits yourself. We talk about the GI Bill. We talk about all sorts of other stuff. We then have the community, which I touched on earlier. This is where there's people in there a lot smarter than me and a lot more experienced than probably most of you are in dealing with this kind of stuff. So you can ask questions and get these questions answered. And then if anyone else has any questions, you can also help them out if you know the answer. And then lastly, we run calls a few times a month where we bring in subject matter experts who focus on this stuff all day, every single day, to help you learn. And you can get on these calls. They teach something for the first half, and then for the second half, they are answering questions. Is this community right for you, and who should avoid it? Not everyone should join this. I'm telling you that right now. First and foremost, this is going to take work. These programs are set up for you. They exist for veterans. They are codified into law specifically to help you out, but it's not easy. It's going to take work to get things set up. Operating with integrity is something that's absolutely paramount for us. That should go without saying, but I need to say that anyways. And this is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. These type of things can be absolutely life-changing, but once again, I'm not like an Instagram guru telling you this is going to solve all of your problems. This is going to fix everything. You're not going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight. But what we are doing is giving you an actionable battle plan to figure out what you have available and how to access it and what to do once you have accessed it. And then lastly, it's not a place to get political. We are completely apolitical in this community. I don't care what you thought about the previous administration or this administration or the next administration. We don't talk about that stuff. We're just purely focused on getting work done. Something you need to be aware of, the reality of the future. Everybody sitting here right now in this program, you're being proactive and you're setting yourself up so that when you're out of the military, you're going to be much better off than any of your other colleagues that are not doing a program like this. But I need you to understand what it's really like in the civilian world right now. So the median salary in 2025 is about $62,000. All right, take that for what it's worth. 41% of employers globally say they intend to truncate workforce due to AI by the end of the decade. In the future, the job market is as unpredictable as it's ever been. But understand, military benefits are not going anywhere. One of the thousands and thousands and millions of incredible things about this country, the United States of America, is that we take care of our military members. We take care of our veterans. I promise you the last thing that would possibly ever go are military benefits. So I want you to think of them as like the insurance policy you can put in place now to future-proof you and your family's financial security. Set this stuff up now when you need it versus a decade from now when you might be out of a job and you don't know what to do. I'm just going to leave this last little thing here. You're putting all this work into getting a job. You're going through the 7 Eagle Academy and you're working on your LinkedIn every single day and reaching out and networking and all this. So why not put the same work into accessing the benefits that you've already earned? Every single one of you sitting here right now, you've already earned this. Okay. They are there for you to just reach out and take. You just need to know how to do it. So then lastly, I'm going to leave you with this, and then we're going to do any questions. If you're interested in learning more, please head to masterthemilitary.com. There's a little bit more information there. What I ask is if you are interested in this program, you can schedule a call. We've got a short survey you need to fill out, and you can book a call with either me or a member of our team. We only have 10 slots open this month into the program. So they're first come, first serve for whoever actually jumps in and joins the program. And then after that, they are gone. We've got a great deal set up for anybody coming in through this call. So when you book the call and you're talking to either me or my staff, just mention this is where you're coming from and we will hook you up. And that's about it. So end of the boring slideshow. Like I promised, let's see. I am done. Boom. Okay, so is everyone still awake? I see a hand up, Jesse Rivera. Are you the one in Japan?
Hi, so yes. Yes,
right.
I am.
Awesome. What's up, man?
First of all, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. You really caught my ear when you said digital nomad. My plan is to live here in Japan forever. So a big part of my plan was to become a digital nomad. And then you were talking about businesses. So I'm wondering, have you ever heard of the book called the 4-Hour Work Week?
Yes, I have.
Is that how your life was with your businesses?
That is 100% what I aimed for, and that is what I accomplished. So that's how I've spent the last 5 years.
That's awesome.
If anybody hasn't read that book, Tim Ferriss, I see Matt. Yeah, you just threw it in there in the chat. It's a guy who wrote an entire book and just about a complete lifestyle of thinking about efficiency and efficacy. So that you could set one's life up to 10x your productivity. So instead of working a full 40 hours a week, he said you could really, condense it to about 4 hours a week, with the idea not being that you actually work 4 hours a week, the idea that you're just 10x productive. So there's certain business models out there you can set up that you don't need to be working for you to be earning money. And just relating this back to what I was saying earlier, a little background on me, why I was able to set up these businesses is because I started investing in real estate while still in the military. So when I separated from the military, I wasn't worried about a paycheck at all. So I didn't need any sort of job or safety net, and I could just go all in on entrepreneurship. Who's next?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Tyrell, you're up, man.
Oh yeah. How's it going, Alex?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was wondering when are the lock courses are going to be unlocked? Like I was just curious on the date.
Are you in the community already?
Yes, I actually am. I was
yeah.
in. I think about 3 weeks ago, maybe you was in, or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. I see you. We're working on it right now. I don't have an exact date for you, but stuff will be coming out in the next couple months.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Good, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. What else? Anybody else?
Hey, go ahead, John.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for coming to talk to us today. It's really helpful to have someone like to kind of gut us to go through the whole just bureaucracy of all of our programs, right? There's one thing that kind of caught my ear a little bit. So Do you charge for this program? And if so, like how much does it cost?
Yep. So we do charge for this. It's not free. And I'm actually really, really passionate about services like this not being free. I'm not going to get into the details of exactly how much it costs on this call right here, just because it's being broadcast all over the place. And the discount that we're going to offer to anybody coming from this call, I just need to keep amongst the people on the call. So if you are genuinely interested, just book a call with us. We'll have a quick chat and I can give you all the details. But yes, there is a charge to be a part of this community.
I definitely understand about the whole thing about the discount code. Like I'm on board with you.
Yep. Awesome, man. And just so everybody knows, the reason why we do charge is a couple things. And I'll go more in depth about this if you guys hop on a call with me later on. But one, we keep out the noise. I don't know if any of you all are in any of these Facebook groups, like military Facebook groups, but there's so much noise in those that they're pretty much worthless, in my opinion. And then two, we can take all this money, and this is where we bring in subject matter experts, like people that would charge thousands and thousands of dollars normally, and we can pool money and bring them in, and they can answer your questions directly. So cool. What else? Richard, see that hand.
I have a question. I'm familiar, I'm not an expert, but I'm familiar with the VA home loan, the disability, the normal stuff. I went through TAP class, but I don't ever remember them talking about VR&E. I mean, can you give me just a 10-second, what is it? Why is it important?
Sure, absolutely. I probably can't distill that into 10 seconds, but I might be able to do 45 seconds for you. And VR&E is probably the most underutilized program out there. It's an employment program. So the GI Bill is set up for education, which is great. Everybody should get educated. However, that's not what you really want. You're getting educated to try and get employed most of the time. So the VR&E program is specifically set up to help you find employment, and they have all sorts of different ways of doing that. And one of them is education, and they'll pay for stuff. It's kind of like most people use it as like a GI Bill, but it's a GI Bill times 5. I think that was about 45 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Makes sense now.
No worries. I got Matt.
Hi, thanks for joining us today. You mentioned how you bring in people to talk about financial literacy and all of those things. As actually, I did the Ikigai exercise where you basically find out what worth you have and like what you can bring, and financial literacy just like was the number one thing for me. So I have a military track that I'm going to do, and education for the civilian side. Are you looking for people to come in and provide some of that stuff? Obviously, you'd have to vet me and all of that stuff, but I'm looking at launching my platform on School, Hormozy's platform, just to provide value and stuff. But you got to monetize it. I'm also going to be going through a mortgage lending school, and so if people get value out of that, they want to use their VA opportunities to be able to link up with me. So that's how I monetize it on the back end, but looking to provide value. Are you looking for people to be contributors to your platform?
Yes. Short answer, yes. Longer answer is we already have people set up doing the calls right now that we have relationships with that I spend a lot of time vetting. And so they're not in there selling, they're just in there teaching mostly. What I would recommend is if you are genuinely interested in doing something like that, join the community, come on in. You can provide a ton of value to the people that are in there, and then we can kind of see where it goes from there. But that's awesome you're going down that path, man. That's really exciting stuff.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Michael, Kelly. And I'm knocking them back, guys and gals. I'm going as quick as I can here to give you guys a break.
Yeah, so just straight into it, with what you're doing with Master of the Military, and I understand you got into the real estate to give yourself a buffer getting out. But how do you balance what you're doing with real estate with what you're doing with Master of the Military?
In terms of like my time commitment?
Time, resources, and I guess not passion, but involvement.
Okay. So for me personally, like my real estate portfolio is passive. and that I put in a ton of work up front. I set everything up. I put systems in place, and I vet a property manager to handle stuff, or hire a property manager if we need to. And then that just kind of trucks along in the background. I'm not an active real estate investor. I'm not out there flipping properties. I've done that before, and anyone else sitting here right now who has done that knows how much work that is, and that in itself is a full-time job. So I'm spinning a lot of plates because I do have that, but mostly automated. I've got Master of the Military, which is my main thing I'm focused on right now, and then I'm also knocking out an MBA in the background. So if you're asking how I personally do it, it's just very disciplined time management and prioritizing where I need to. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool, man. Arnold, AJ.
Hey, Alex. So just to clarify for the VRNE, those of us who are separating or retiring would need a disability rating before we can start the VRNE process, right? Because I have a friend of mine who is getting med boarded, and he already has his rating before he even gets out. So he already has like a pre-rating already established, and they were able to like fast track his VRNE. Like he already got his stuff in the mail, like he's already started everything. So I just wanted to clarify, is that the case?
Yeah. So if you're getting med boarded, like if you're getting the boot for that, in regards to VRNE, it's amazing. You're like auto into everything, just like your friend is dealing with. I'm not 100% expert on it, but yes, you do need to have a disability rating to go through that process.
Yeah. So for those of us who are like regular separating, regular retiring, we would have to wait until we get that rating, which is at time of discharge, to even start the VRNE process.
As far as I'm aware, yes. But I'm not 100%. Like I said, we bring in people that are the experts on that. What I will say is I recently went through the whole VRNE process, and they're so backlogged right now that if you want to apply now, I don't know if it took 4 months before I even got any sort of callback from them. So be prepared. That process is going to take a long time.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. Anybody else? Awesome. One other thing I wanted to kind of mention as well. So I've said it a couple times, but I'm doing this MBA program here in the UK, and this is like a pretty top tier program. Like it just outranked Harvard this past year. So I'm sitting in a room last week with 500 other people in my cohort, and these are all just like studs, basically guys and gals from all over the planet that are on their way to doing big things. And they sat us down and they said, all right, you're all here getting this MBA because you want to get a better job. You want to improve yourself professionally, yada, yada, yada. We basically don't know what is going to happen within the next 2 or 3 years. Things are changing so fast, mostly related to AI, that what you need to be focused on is adaptability and to prepare for what's coming next. Because they're really, you can't just prepare for one career field right now. You need to be prepared to deal with whatever is coming. So that's just kind of the last point that I'd want to leave y'all with. You're being so smart right now by going through this program, but I ask you, please, please, please don't just rely on a job. Set yourself up with the stuff that you've already earned. You have access to it. It is yours. It's yours already. Please do not waste it. If you're not interested in it, do it for your kids. Do it for your family. Like the extra money you could get coming in from a VA disability rating that you're entitled for could be used to pay for your kids' college later on, or set them up with a fund where they don't need to worry about things. I'll leave you with that.
I got one. So like, what's the most surprising thing that you've gotten from vets using MTM?
What do you mean surprising?
Like what's like biggest success story or biggest surprise of like, holy cow, I haven't seen that before, and then you kind of navigated them into a win.
Yeah, I would say the biggest surprise that I'm just faced with on a daily basis is that no one knows this stuff. I'm blown away every single day that people literally have no idea how to do this, and it's worth so much on the outside. So every day in the program, people are working on learning, and the 3 main ones that we focus on are the GI Bill, disability benefits, and your VA loan. So that's the solid starting point. And yeah. What else?
Yeah, no, is there any more obscure ones that you say, hey, you probably never heard of this, that'd be worth doing a little homework on?
I mean, so the VRNE is probably the most powerful and important one that I'd say. Another kind of morbid one that nobody knows about is that the VA will pay for part of your funeral when you die. So not as important for you because you're dead, but for your family members, really good for them to know about.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't personally be cashing in on that, but
Right.
I know somebody who might.
Yes.
My wife. That's good stuff. So any other thoughts you want to share? I mean, because you got a hell of a journey that you've had to get there. Can you tell us some of the places you lived? Just for
Yeah.
people who haven't heard this yet.
I'll take just another, I guess, 5 minutes to then hopefully give y'all a little more time to just hang out. But just to kind of give you an idea of what your life can start to look like if you have things set up in the background where you don't even need to work if you don't want to. I have been working and building businesses for the past 5 years because I choose to. But yeah, after I got out of the military, I booked a one-way plane ticket to Thailand. So I was over in Thailand for about a month. COVID hit. So my wife and I went back to the States. We hung out there for a few months. Her visa ran out because she's British. So we had to get out. The only place in the world that was open at the time were the Balkans, if you know where that is, because I didn't previously. But we flew to Serbia. And we spent a bunch of time in Serbia and Kosovo. And yeah, Croatia, all over the Mediterranean, a lot in Southeast Asia. If anyone here has not been to Southeast Asia, Thailand is the most amazing place on the planet, and you need to start there. And then the Philippines are also amazing. And then, yeah, now I'm sitting in London. I'm going to be here the next couple of years. If anyone is passing through London, drop me a line. It doesn't have to be related to this whatsoever. I'm always down to go grab a pint. Yeah.
Yeah, finding the good stuff there is definitely better. So just, you've done 6 continents. Any plans to get to Antarctica at any point?
I would absolutely love to. It's in the works for sure. That just takes a little bit of planning and you need a budget. Yeah, you're talking. I mean, I think you can do it for like a low 4 figures, but you're looking probably closer to 5 figures depending how you want to do it.
Yeah, it's big.
I have buddies that have been down there.
I was signed up to do a trip on the ice there, and then I got another job, so I was like, crap, I'm not going to get there because I wasn't going to do it on my budget. That's for sure. I was going to let the Air Force do it.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Hey,
well, so anything else? Last chance. Anybody questions about anything? It can be just digital nomad life, an MBA, master the military, just any general benefit stuff.
Going. Gone. Excellent. Hey,
Cool.
Alex, thanks a ton again for joining us. I shared your website and your LinkedIn again, so hopefully folks reach out, take advantage of the help that you're able to deliver because I know you got it. So thank you very much.
All right. Happy to be here. Thanks for paying attention, everybody. Hopefully you're still awake, and I'll catch you later.